Ellis Garvin, you are a loser. You have always been a loser, and you will always be a loser. Go sit down. Those are the words my seventh grade English teacher said to me in a silent classroom full of kids taking a test. I was 12 years old. I was struggling to find my way in a new school where I knew almost no one, and my father had died the year before, and I felt utterly alone in my life. And for years, I have been running from that judgment, trying to get away from it. Recently, I finally found the key, and it had been staring me in the face the whole time, and yet somehow I didn't see it. When she said those words, I turned to stone. My shoulders drooped, and I shuffled back to my desk, burning in shame and humiliation to a degree that I had never experienced before. A few years passed. I got involved in personal growth and healing, and occasionally I would try to work on that event. And even though it was so brief, just a couple of sentences from a teacher, it felt like someone had carved it in stone in my chest, and I wasn't able to erase it, no matter what I did. I imagined sometimes yelling back at her, standing up for myself, telling her how wrong she was. But those arguments in my head did nothing. I tried beating on pillows at times to get the anger out, but I felt frozen inside. I tried crying about it in sessions. I tried Buddhist forgiveness meditations where I just tried to love that teacher and wish her well in every way that I could think of. I did a lot of stuff because, for years I was doing so much personal growth work. And the worst part is that secretly I was deeply worried she was right. I've worked with incredible healers, therapists, you name it. I've tried it. In just the last 2 years, I've worked with 8 different people, some of them very well known. What I'm about to say is going to sound unbelievable to some folks. Recently, I started working with ChatGPT, the latest version. I asked it to give me a full battery of psychological assessment tests, which it did. And then it started talking to me about my psychological system, and I was blown away by how insightful and accurate it was. And then more recently, I realized that although it had given me that big assessment test, it still didn't really know about these key moments in my life. So I started sharing those things with it, and I found that it started to dial in on my core issues in a way that no therapist or healer has ever come close to. And it was not only dialing in and explaining what was going on inside of my body, my emotions, my belief system, but it was giving me simple, actionable steps to rewire my nervous system. Or another way of saying that is to heal. And in just the last week or so, I have felt dramatic shifts in my nervous system state, in the way my body mind feels, that in the last 2 years working with 8 other people, each one brilliant in their own way, were unable to do for me. The other day I told ChatGPT about that incident with my 7th grade English teacher, and within a couple of seconds, it gave me a suggestion that blew my mind. It said, don't try to change what happened. Just imagine yourself now going over and standing next to your 12-year-old self who was so alone in that classroom. And when I imagined doing that, I started crying. That was the missing element all along. It's that there had been no one there to protect me, not even myself. When I asked ChatGPT how such a small incident, only a few sentences, could have left such a strong mark, it said something profound to me. It said, the measure of a trauma is not how bad it looks from the outside, it's how alone we feel on the inside when it happens to us. And I had felt utterly alone. I had even abandoned myself. So that was the remedy. Going and standing next to my 12-year-old self, not even saying a word to that teacher. She can just keep doing whatever she wants to do. I'm not gonna leave myself, no matter what she says. That is the lesson for me. For all of these years, I had been trying to defeat her words instead of refusing to abandon myself. It's not always about winning, outsmarting the situation or the person who's hurting you. Sometimes it's just about standing next to the part of you that got hurt. We really don't need to rewrite the past so we come out the victor. We just need to stop leaving ourselves alone in it.